Now, how do you access the student VM? I forgot that. Thanks a lot for asking that. So when you go to adlab.enterprisesecurity.io, that is the student portal or the lab portal, this is what the homepage looks like after login. Let me walk you through that. So you would see a subscription start time and a subscription end time here. Make sure that it matches the amount of lab access that you have purchased. It is minimum 30. So just take a look at that. And you would also see the last date to attempt the exam. Right? So keep an eye on that. Pay very close attention to the region where your lab is located. So there are three regions that we provide: North America, Europe, and East Asia/Pacific. So if you are from North or South America, you should go for the region US here or North America here. If you move eastwards, right from Europe, Africa, MEA up to India, you should have the EU or Europe region. Anything eastwards from India would go for East Asia or Pacific. Other than minute geographical lag, you should not face ever any serious lag in the lab. We shell out extra money to our server providers to connect us on a dedicated network port ranging from 1 to 10 Gbps depending on the location. So please make sure that you absolutely have no considerable lag. Minor lag would always be there, of course, but no lag that makes, let's say, the lab unusable or not pleasant to use. All right, the fastest and the easiest way to access the lab is web credentials, or you can use VPN plus RDP. If you face any lag or any other problem, please reach out to the lab team. Do not suffer silently at all. How do you access the lab? The easiest way, as I said, is to click on the lab URL that you see here. It would be unique for you. This takes you to a self-signed version of Guacamole that we run. So accept the risk of using a self-signed certificate, of course, and then provide a username, generate credential, and a password. So that is the easiest way. That is the web credentials way. If you like to use VPN plus RDP, you download your VPN config file, open it up with OpenVPN, and use the credentials that you see here for your own user. Once you are connected to the VPN, you can log into your own student VM and access it using these credentials. You have limited control over just the student VM. You can reboot it or restore it to the original state. Other than that, on the home page, you will find access to a Bloodhound web UI, which we'll use pretty soon, and MDE and MDI dashboard, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint and Microsoft Defender for Identity. That is what your homepage looks like. Then you have access to the lab manual in Markdown format here. If you click on certification exam, it takes you, excuse me. If you click on the certification exam, it takes you to the, sorry. To the certification exam. Your bootcamp purchase comes with an attempt to the Certified Red Team Professional or CRTP examination. You can select a location that is nearest to you and set it up. The exam is hosted in Azure, so you should usually not face any lags. It is a dedicated setup for each one of you. Okay, make sure that you go through all of this in detail before starting the exam. There is also a flag verification section that you can use to track your own progress and get a course completion certificate. If you click on this access lab material, that takes you to the course OneDrive. So what is it that you would find in this OneDrive? Slides. What slides? These slides that I'm using. You will get access to the slides. Any notes in the slides? I put usually all the references to Microsoft documentation or GitHub, etc. in the slide notes. These are not class notes. When I say slide notes, that means this section. You also have access to the lab manual. Think of the lab manual as a, a text walkthrough of all the hands-on, all the learning objectives. You can see what are the commands that need to run, what would be the success output that looks like that, how would the success look like. Okay, you also have access to all the tools here. They are also on your student VM. In addition to this, you also have access to a couple of diagrams. I'm going to update these on Monday, by the way. We have refreshed the lab just just the last day, but these diagrams are not refreshed yet, so we'll do that on Monday. So you have the lab diagram and all the attack paths here. You also have guidance in terms of videos without commentary and a document on how you can access the lab just in case you are facing any issue with that. You also have access to walkthrough videos for each of the learning objective. There is a walkthrough video. Walkthrough videos do not contain any commentary or voice. Think of them as screen captures on how the success would look like. You also have access to change log so that you can see what change. You would have lifetime access to the course material. So you can, let's say, come back an year later and you can see that what are the major changes that has been done to the course. Also, you have access to lab manual for the Sliver C2. So in the class, I do not use a C2 framework, but in case you want to solve the lab using Sliver, you can use Sliver C2. The entire lab can be solved without a C2, or if you want to do that, including a C2 with a C2 as well.